Good afternoon, Ms. Tony. How are you? You want me to shut the door? I haven't had the honor of meeting you as of yet. I know we might have physically seen each other.
Yeah.
It's an honor. I'm Paul Isaac. How are you? I don't mean to be a burden or a problem or cause drama for your organization. You have quite an extensive operation here, and I've run a very good ship here.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
my issue is that I had just came across a settlement in a lawsuit, and it was recent, and it's been a long time waiting, and my sickness stems from 9/11, diabetes, heart issues. I don't know how much time I'd have to live, but I don't like to think of these things.
Day by day.
Take it day by day. Yeah. So my situation is this, I didn't want to go to the hospital this time. I don't like hospital settings because it's depressing, and there's quite a hazard, medical danger, potentials. So for me, when the EMS was called, it was at the last second. I don't like dealing with that type of stuff. I was a fireman, I was an auxiliary lieutenant fireman for the city. I went through 9/11. And so, my information is out there. I'm public. But I've been going through a lot of stuff, a lot of bullshit. And I've taken quite a loss since then. And I'm not prepared to take another loss. My situation is dire at this point. And when I went to the hospital, my health was obviously compromised. And so I was ordered by law.
I'm glad to know now that, because just that part of it, in terms of your meals that you're getting here, if you're not getting them consistently, because we do have those issues sometimes.
The meals?
Yeah, the diet, because you're supposed to have diabetic meals,
Yes,
right? So just either let your case manager know, or if James Coldman on the second floor, if he's here, because he kind of handles that side of things.
He's an all-around kind of guy.
Let him know, because I always like to let them know when we're not getting things consistently.
Yes, ma'am.
It's important for them to know, and it's important for you to get the meals that you're supposed to, so your health doesn't get
Absolutely.
to the point in time to the hospital.
So that aside, that was my biggest issue here as far as the dietitian issues. This money was, again, this is the letter from my lawyer proving, showing that this was an actual case. I had approximately 4,000 here.
Okay.
It's obvious that this is, I know that we signed an agreement that a loss, but I think once it reaches a point where somebody has access to privacy areas of rooms or privacy areas of personal property, I think that there's
Wait, I just have one question. So this says that the total amount that you get is 0 because of the fees?
No, that's what I had to pay. That's what's outstanding. I got a $10,000 payment settlement from the city, but I also got a $75,000 out of a private security company here. So
okay,
that money went to my money.
In particular, because of the fees and everything, it looks like you didn't get money from this check.
I got money from it. Trust me.
Okay.
The initial payment was $10,000. My lawyer's cut was the 33%, the 3%.
Okay.
And I was left after services with $5,687 approximate.
Okay. So I know that. So you have to let me do some investigating because it takes time, right?
I understand.
It's weekend staff. I have to talk to them. I have to go through all the footage from like 3 days. So I am going to do that.
Absolutely, I respect that.
As
I just wanted to show you this because, I want to be upfront. Put the cards on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not here to cause problems for this organization.
But
because I do an extensive research on different organizations. I'm kind of like an activist as well as for the homeless because I think that, as far as my personal opinion, experience-wise, I think that services for the homeless, especially for military veterans and first responders who are from 9/11 and who can't financially cope with the medical costs and the cost of living, who find themselves in this predicament, like myself. And unfortunately, I'm not looking for any special. I know you have military veterans here and they have service dogs. I don't have a service dog, so unfortunately, but unfortunately, I don't know what's going to transpire from this. Are there any remedies for this situation?
Do you have to let me sort of like do my investigating a little bit to see if we can just rectify it that way, to see if anyone in and out of your room, and when could this have possibly happened?
Because I would think that it was kind of hard to believe that, somebody would be doing a general cleaning and leaving trash in a room like this. I mean, like, I understand that
They didn't do a whole clean of your room because
no, they just packed up
especially because there was vomit on the floor. We wanted to make sure that it didn't sit
a hazmat issue. I understand biohazard issue.
New sheets, I understood as well.
About all that, but it was just my sleeping bag that was on the bed.
Okay.
So, but aside from that, I mean, it was acknowledged that they had seen the money, and that they were told that the money was not to be touched, and that this was Mr. Coleman, I take it, James Coleman, and so I already know that the staff is aware of that. I could not have come back from the hospital and discharged myself and go back.
Right.
So it would have been beyond my absence, and so right now I'm just going through a real emotional crisis right now. Okay, because I have to leave.
We take it seriously, but you just have to give me a little time to do.
Can you give me some idea of what time period is this going to be?
So I'm going to try and.
Because I know you're busy,
today,
and I don't want to take. I know you're taking time from your busy day, and I respect that.
Again, it's not a problem at all. I just I do have like other meetings.
Yes, ma'am.
Just got done with my meeting, so
I respect that.
I would say by tomorrow we should be able to get something figured out. Whether it's, I don't know what that will look like because I haven't been able to really do any looking into it.
I mean, we will meet
I
was
tomorrow.
told that when I signed the initial that there was no responsibility for lost items, and I respect that. In a general area, in a general transient area, in the cafeteria or in walkabout, I can understand that, but in a private, room in somebody's personal domain, I mean, that can't really, somebody would have had to gain access beyond their authority.
Right. Well, I mean, just so with that, people are able to go in and out of your room. That's also something that you
right. Open access, and I respect that.
But and which is why we don't encourage people to leave large sums of money in their room and all that. I'm not saying that.
It's not that we do it by choice. I'd rather be in a hotel right now, but unfortunately, this is the situation that I'm having to follow.
So the hard part about this and why we have that on there is there are no cameras in your room because we do want to have some general respect
privacy.
for people's privacy.
Absolutely.
Right? So it is a little bit difficult to figure out these kinds of things because of that, but we do have cameras in the hallway. We can see what.
And there's a camera right above my door, right pivot to my door.
Right.
So unfortunately, I can't understand how it is that somebody could have spent that amount of time, extensive amount of time.
I have to. It's like 3 days of footage, right? Because you just came back last night, so I do have to go through all of it.
Right.
Which is going to take me a little bit of time. I do hope to be able to do that by tomorrow. We can meet up again.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I do have a very full day tomorrow.
Yes, I can imagine. Middle of the week.
Make some time. Let me just see when I do have some time in my schedule tomorrow.
But I'm already hearing from people that supposed words going around that I've already found my money, and I really don't think that that's appropriate for staff to be discussing, especially.
I don't know if that's. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
but
and it's just I don't like being in a position where I'm feeling like I'm being humiliated because I'm the victim of a crime. And I think that it's wrong that somebody should be made to feel awkward because of that. Whatever decisions I needed to take in my personal life as far as holding on to my valuables should not be a factor.
Yeah.
Whether or not I'm considered for remedy or
and I don't want you to feel humiliated or anything like that, but again, this is part of the reason why we have this. We're not responsible for things that are lost because while
loss is one aspect, but actually somebody predatory going into people's personal property.
I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying that it is very easy for anyone to come to us and say, hey, somebody took something out of my room. And
I know.
And so that's why we have this policy, because everyone could say that every day. And
but why what would be the sense of me going to the hospital, nearly dying in the hospital, being put in an ICU, and then coming back and stating something like this? What benefit would that have for me?
I'm not saying that that's what's happening here. I'm just trying to explain to you sort of where that came from
And the
why
fact
it's
that your
different.
staff has already acknowledged that they saw,
And
why
because they
wasn't
were
it
in the
vouchered
room,
and
right?
secured? I mean, if
So
that's
we
something,
generally, we don't, because of something like this, if something is out like that and we voucher it, and then somebody will come in and say, you moved my stuff around, you touched my money.
but that's
and
exactly
then,
what happened.
And then,
You know, and at least that
and
person
this
would
is-
be able to recover his money rather than have somebody tell him, yeah, we heard about it, we saw it, but now your money's gone and we can't answer for it.
so
I would
again,
rather have somebody voucher in an emergency
And we can-
situation, because if you lost your purse
So
somewhere
again,
due
on
to
the
circumstances beyond their control, as a security agent, okay, as a
Mhm.
security agent, my duty would be to recognize the danger, because if anybody else were to see that,
So yeah, we've been in this position
Right.
before, right, where the staff does voucher the money, and then all of a sudden, this amount of money is missing,
Right.
and really it's this amount. So that's why we
but,
just,
but
we have
why
the
would
conversation.
we penalize the victim of the crime? I mean, that would actually mean that if you were to come in with an extensive amount of money and you were the victim of a crime by my staff, per
It's not
se,
about penalizing.
that I would tell you, well, you should have had used better judgment, and I would turn around and I'd say, you would turn around and say, well, why would you hire staff doing that?
Well, of
You know,
course, we don't want anyone stealing from anyone or doing anything like
I mean,
that, but
it's a
again,
pretty sad
we've
sight
been-
when people are
we've
robbing
been in
from,
a lot
you know,
of-
bums.
But
You
we've
know,
also been like in the situation where people do make a lot of false acts. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, I just want
but to automatically assume that after your staff has already acknowledged that they saw the money.
Yes, they did.
So if
And
they
so-
were the last people to have spotted the money
So
and
again-
took no action to either secure the property for the client, as
Because
you know,
when we see things that are in the room that are allowed and that are valuable, we leave it alone, because we don't want to touch people's things and then have them come back and say,
somebody went and touched it.
so again, we don't know that, right?
But
I have to
I'm
look at
I'm
it.
not the first person. You're acknowledging that I'm not the first person to state these claims.
Yes,
And so obviously-
but many of the times, again, I'm saying that the reason why this really came about is that many of the times those claims have been shown to be false, and I'm not saying that's what's happening here.
But it
I'm
can't
just
be shown to be
explaining.
false if I'm not in presence here while it's already acknowledged that the money was there. Mr. Coleman stated this morning
Yeah.
that the staff, both of them, called him. I told Jenna when I left to go to the hospital to please secure my room because I have an extensive amount of money. I made it known to her.
And they called it again to just so that they were making that report.
Right.
So that after the
So
fact, it
obviously, if
was
they
not-
are
I
a
need
witness,
to put-
I
right,
can't
so-
be accused of something that I could not have possibly have done. I could not
understand.
have
No
come
one
here
is
from the
accusing
emergency room or ICU to come and remove money and accuse your staff, because
No
there would
one-
be no benefit for that.
No one is accusing you of that, but again, I have not even looked at the footage yet. I have not been able to talk to any of my staff, so I just don't know. Okay?
I mean,
So
I just
do
think
need
that
to
it's
do
it's money that's being spent right now, and I can't recover that.
I understand that, but until I look into it, I don't have any answers.
But I mean, even if you look into it and see that there was an acknowledgement by your staff
And
that it
so,
was in the
again,
room,
I
and
did-
now all of a sudden I'm the last person to come in, and I have to state that it's